2048 is a very addictive little game that many of us, like myself, have gotten sucked into on our phones. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a 2048 progressive web application that you can play on your desktop, your Android device, and your iPhone.
Hey guys, Chris Love, the owner of Love to Dev here, and in this video I'm going to walk you through the 2048 progressive web app. What we're looking at right now is a recording I made on my phone, and you can go to 2048.lovetodev.com and access the same exact application. And that's really what it is. I mean, you just sit there and you play the game by sliding the tiles together to match the numbers, and the goal is to try to get a tile that has 2048 on it. And you can keep playing after you reach that goal, but that's actually when you win. So you should be prompted with Chrome on Android and most of the other Android browsers to add the progressive web app to your home screen. If you do so, you will get a tile on your phone's home screen, and it'll launch and look just like a native application, which is what you see here on the screen. Notice there's no browser address bar or anything like that. It's just the application, and you've got the regular gameplay going on. So hopefully this is a good demonstration of the application. And now we're going to switch over to the code, which you can get to from the GitHub repo in the description below. In this section of the video, I just want to do a quick run through of the 2048 progressive web app code, just to show you how everything is structured. Now, let's just start up here. We're in the indexed HTML file. Now, the entire application is just one web page. It's nothing too fancy. I do start off by referencing the app cache, and that's for our legacy browser friends, iOS for the time being. If we go down to the actual app cache, you see it's just got a reference to the files that need to be cached locally. And then the next progressive web app part is somewhere down here. Here we go. Reference to the manifest file. Here we go. And that's going to load our manifest.json file, which I'll go over here in a second. And if we go down further down through all the gameplay stuff, we should eventually register our service worker. Here we go. Basic service worker registration script, nothing too fancy going on here. Just register the service worker and echo out if it worked or not. Now let's go look at the manifest.json file. I have the full name here. I have the short name, which is pretty much what's going to be displayed underneath the icon on the home screen. I've got a description here, and then we've got the icon set of all the different icons for the different home screens, etc. I want the start URL to be the root. I did set the scope here. We do want it to be full screen, which means without the browser accoutrements. Make sure you set the background and theme color, and you do want to make that theme color match up to the theme color you're setting in the header. And for this particular game, it does need to be portrait to work. I've tried it landscape, and man, that was a mess. So don't do that. I also just threw in it's in English, and that the character directions are left to right. Now, as far as the service worker goes, very simple service worker. The entire application is going to be pre-cached. So I've put in all of the application assets up here in this array called cache list. And in the install event handler, that cache list is added to cache, and it's added to a named cache called pre-cache. And nothing going on in the activate event that we need to worry about. The fetch event handler checks the cache, and if it is in the cache, returns it. Otherwise, it returns it via the fetch. So honestly, the way this is set up, this line will probably never be hit in this particular application. And that's because the entire application is very small and self-contained, and we can pre-cache the entire thing. And that's about it, folks. There's not a whole lot to making 2048 a progressive web app. So it should serve as a really good introduction to making progressive web apps, especially if you've got a small site. You should be able to pre-cache everything and not worry about too much. So if you got any questions, leave those in the section below. And if you think this is helpful or you like the game, definitely share it with your friends and hit the subscribe button, because we've got all kinds of new progressive web apps and progressive web application information we are launching. And be sure to not miss out on the discount in the description below for my progressive web app development course.